back to another episode of Doing Football. Today, running back rankings, our top 24 running backs for week 3 in fantasy football. Before we get to it, though, be sure to check out our $50K contest on OwnersBox. Super flex salary cap game, no kicker, no defense, all offense all the time. This week's lineup, Ronald Jones and Kenneth Gainwell at the running back position. The tight ends have been real important, though. Rob Gronkowski this week, Travis Kelce last week. So when you're building your lineups, I try to spend on tight ends, see if you can save some money at maybe the running back position, because apparently it's not that important to winning.
Clearly not.
As well, for first-time depositors, we're giving you a $25 bonus. So if you deposit as little as $10, you're going to get $25 for free to play on the platform, build some more lineups. You can put in as many as 15 lineups into the $50K contest. So plenty of free money for you to take advantage of. Drew9 is also still available as a promo code. So if you've never played, you've never downloaded, we're giving you $10 with promo code Drew9 for free entry into the $50K contest. We're also giving you $25 for free, $35 free for you to play on the site.
It's a lot of free money.
It's real money that you can play with. So be sure to do that. Be sure to check it out. Okay. Week 3, running back rankings. Jared, these ones are
number
mine.
One.
Very simple. Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
Great matchup Thursday.
Very easy.
He's going to be, we said it before the show.
He's won every week until he gets injured, if he gets injured.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't get injured. I'd like to see what kind of final numbers he has. Austin Eckler is who I have at number 2.
Yeah.
9 targets last week. People were wondering why the receptions weren't there. They showed up. This is a great matchup against Kansas City, the worst run defense in the NFL. They're giving up 6.1 yards per carry on the season so far. So Eckler has a chance to have a very, very big day. So I have him at number 2.
Yeah, I mean, he had no receptions week 1. It was a little worrisome, but then fully back in week 2. I think he had a 21% target share, which is great numbers for him. And then, they're probably going to be playing from behind, or at least in a very high-scoring game. So expect Eckler to be very involved there. Yeah,
Jonathan Taylor is who I have at number 3. Look, it's probably going to be Jacob Eason. Carson Wentz is both ankles sprained. You know what's bananas to me is he sprained both of his ankles, and then in those final 3 minutes, he's just standing there on the sideline on those ankles. I was like, what is this injury? Not resting them at all. Yeah, it's like, why doesn't he sit down or something like that? Anyways, I think Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines are going to be heavily involved in this game against Tennessee. This isn't a good run defense as it is. Jacob Eason looked horrible in what was, spur of the moment in the game. I didn't expect much from him anyways.
Don't expect much with him this week either, though.
I would not. So I think Jonathan Taylor will be heavily involved. So I have him as my RB3.
I was surprised you had Taylor over Henry, because you have Henry at 4. And after Henry had a massive week last week,
usage was back. 35 rushing attempts.
I think Taylor's ceiling is what we should expect more likely from Henry.
Yeah, I think I just like the matchups. I like the matchup for Taylor better than I like it for Henry, and I think they'll have similar volume. I think the Titans have a better chance throwing the ball on the Colts here. And I liked Tannehill last week. The play action was back up, which was great. I saw a tweet. It was up to 31% play action, which was
that's
kind of
really
back
good.
to what
You'd
they
like
wanted.
To see that.
Najee Harris is at 5. Fantastic matchup here. If Deontay Johnson isn't playing, it seemed like he avoided major injury, so maybe he is back. But I think Najee Harris against Cincinnati's defense has a chance to have a big week, especially if Deontay Johnson and the target share he has is missing, then Najee could get even more passing work from last week.
Yeah. It was surprising to see David Montgomery not do well against that defense last week.
Yeah.
Even Dalvin Cook in week 1, what if this defense actually is good at stopping the run?
Yeah, it's a veteran group, so they could just be good enough all season. I think if the season kind of falls off and they're not playing well, then the veteran group kind of gives up on the year, and maybe they're getting beat. But who knows? Maybe they're good enough.
But Najee Harris is a guy that's going to be involved in 90+% of plays. So
yeah, exactly. Kamara, we flip into 6 now. Tough matchup against New England. I love the New England defense this season. I thought Michael Carter looked great last week running against them, though. So with Kamara's involvement and usage, the Saints are concerning me with the offense a little bit from last week.
He didn't look that great last week.
Yeah, he didn't look good. He disappointed us. But I think you just got to go back to the well on Kamara here.
You got to assume he's going to be back, at least in a somewhat capacity.
Chris Carson, love the matchup here for Chris Carson against Minnesota. The Minnesota defense has not been good through the first 2 weeks, giving up a lot of points. Chris Carson's volume is there as well. This is another guy who gets a ton of work. Nick Chubb at number 8. I know you had mentioned before the show. These two are close for me. I think I don't like Chubb's matchup as much, but Cleveland with Baker Mayfield, throwing out his shoulder, this is why quarterbacks should not try to tackle in those types of situations when they've got it might be a defensive player, but he was coming downhill on him, and Baker had no momentum, and he just kind of put his shoulder into him, and that's what happens when you don't know how to tackle because you're a quarterback.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Chubb is not really matchup proof.
Yeah.
But as matchup proof as you can get. And I don't think the Chicago Bears defense is that strong. We saw Darrell Henderson do well against them. I mean, obviously Joe Mixon didn't, but we kind of expected that. But I don't know. I like Nick Chubb enough that I would have put him above Chris Carson.
Yeah, I think it's, nobody's making a decision on this, so we should be good here. Top 10 on the week. Antonio Gibson against the Bills. The Bills' pass defense has been really good through the last 2 weeks. I really like Antonio Gibson this season, his involvement. I think he has a chance to have a big day here against the Bills. Because I think he's going to be able to run the ball against them. Something Najee Harris didn't do in week 1, but I think Antonio Gibson will be able to do this week.
He just needs to get the touchdowns. Like, we haven't seen it. Like, J.D. McKissick took the one last week.
Yeah.
So that was tough to see. But if he gets those touchdowns, then he's a great play.
Yeah, Gibson will be back. I think he'll be in the end zone this week. Aaron Jones, monster week. Holy shit. What a monster Monday from Aaron Jones.
Won me a week in one of my leagues.
That gave me those Devontae Adams vibes from last year. Is just like he's just getting the ball in the red zone.
It's back to being Aaron Jones. Remember 2019 was Aaron Jones, then 2020 is Devontae Adams. Now it's Aaron Jones again. He's
in my top 10. It's not a good matchup. It's definitely not a good matchup, but this is the Packers, his involvement, he ends up in the end zone. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if he's a top 5 running back again this week.
I've got Clyde really high here.
This is surprising.
I thought he looked great last week until that fumble. I thought he looked great against a tough Ravens defense. I thought he looked fast. I thought he was seeing the field really well. I loved the vision he had last week. And then the fumble derails things. The Chargers, the Cowboys ran a train on them last week. These two teams, both the Chiefs and the Chargers, cannot stop the run through 2 weeks. They've been horrible. Justin Jones was out last week. That was a big missing piece to their defense in the middle, was him being out. So if they're missing him again, look, Clyde could run all over them.
Yeah. I hope you're right on this, because I loved Clyde, but he has, last game was so disappointing.
Yeah.
Seeing that happen. And now everybody's off of him. Everybody's saying he sucks. Everybody's saying sell him for as much as you can, but he's at his lowest value right now. So I don't know. I think we have to wait and see with him. I don't know if I would have ranked him as high as 11, but if he's going to bounce back, hopefully it's this week.
I think he bounces back because, like I said, I think he looked really good last week. Saquon, I'm moving Saquon up to number 12 now. We had him. What did we had him outside the top 24 last week?
Outside the top 24,
which we did. I thought we did a great job on. Great job on, because he had a 40-yard run, and then the other 10 carries he went for a combined 16 yards.
He did nothing else. But it's Atlanta.
Yes, this is a good matchup, and his passing usage really increased. Devontae Booker, I think, only ran about 8 or 9 routes last week, which was good to see, because I think now, they've eased him in. I think this is the game he breaks out, and he's bouncing back to the finish you're hoping for on the season. This is the week, I think, for him with a good matchup.
If you watch the buy low, sell high video, he was my buy low, and I would love for this to be the breakout week, because it's going to come. He's going to get back to that old form. Yeah.
Dalvin Cook, I'm worried about the injury. An ankle sprain is just not good for a running back. He tried to play through it, which, I think Dalvin Cook's capable of doing, but I think Alexander Mattison will be involved. Last time they played Seattle, Mattison was involved. That was the game that DK Metcalf catching the ends. How do I describe this? They fumble. Did they fumble? Seattle won on a touchdown with no time left. Huge pass to DK Metcalf down the sideline. Cameron Dantzler made a horrible play on the ball. Anyways, and it was when Madison was playing and Dalvin Cook was out. He had a huge game.
I think I remember that. Yeah, Dalvin Cook was out and then Madison went off.
Yeah, so I'm worried about how much usage Dalvin Cook gets. If he's on the field, you of course play him. It's not like I have him way down here. He's still barely outside the top 12. Chase Edmonds. This is a great matchup for Chase Edmonds. I've loved his involvement in the offense so far. James Conner's efficiency, I just don't see it as someone that's too big of a hindrance to how Chase Edmonds can finish.
He's being very involved in the passing game.
Yeah.
So it's only him.
Great matchup against Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been sneaky, kind of good against the run, but against the pass with Chase Edmonds' involvement, I think he could have a big day. I have moved Javonte Williams way up here.
He's very high.
He continues to outsnap Melvin Gordon. This is a good matchup with the Jets. I think they keep the ball on the ground here, and I can feel a big play coming for Javonte Williams to end up in the end zone. I think this is a good matchup for him. I think he's going to continue to outsnap Melvin Gordon, outproduce him as well. And I think we have a big game from Javonte. So him, and then as well, Tyson Williams is who I have at number 16 going against the Lions. I think a lot of people will be looking to play the Baltimore Ravens this week against the Lions. The Lions have been sneaky good against the run. Aaron Jones...
Not last night, though.
But Aaron Jones didn't eclipse 70 yards rushing.
Yeah, that's true.
So they've been okay, but I think that Baltimore will be leading this game. Tyson Williams has been involved in the passing game, too.
Tyson's been the best guy in that backfield.
He's been the best guy. He's been efficient. So I think he has a good week here, a solid week that you'll be happy about.
I probably would have put him above Javonte just because we haven't seen enough from Javonte yet. But yeah, I love Tyson being there at 16.
Yeah, a couple good matchups. 17, David Montgomery going against Cleveland. If Justin Fields gets into this game, which I really hope he does, I'm so tired of Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be fired if you don't take this chance. Like, take this chance to bench Andy Dalton. Once he gets hurt, it's all out the window. All your promises you made, Matt Nagy, you stupid idiot, are out the window if he's hurt and you have a reason to play Justin Fields. Play him. He looks better. He's the better quarterback. He's younger. He's the guy of the future. Why not play him when he's the better quarterback?
Agree.
Anyways, David Montgomery, this is a okay matchup for him. I think this could be like a really mediocre game for David Montgomery, but with the volume.
I thought he would have had a much bigger week last week, so that would definitely brings him down for me as well.
Another person that moved pretty far up, these next two guys, James Robinson. The Cardinals, Dalvin Cook ran a train on him last week. We saw that. He was great against the Cardinals in the run. James Robinson finally leading in touches between him and Carlos Hyde. This could be a game I think he's really involved in, both running the ball and in passing downs. So I like James Robinson a lot this week. I think
he'll slowly start to take more and more away from Hyde too.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence has thrown 4 interceptions in 2 games.
Yeah, he hasn't been good.
I think they need to get to the run game, try and slow these football games they're playing down and not let games get away from them, which has happened in the last 2 weeks. Mike Davis. I talked about him as a buy low. Look, the volume is just there. 16 and 18 touches the last 2 weeks in really poor game scripts, like literally as bad as they could get. They lost both games by 20 plus points. So if this game is competitive, I think he has 24, 25 touches, and that's exactly what you want.
Touches.
Going against the Giants defense is a decent matchup. I think this is more game script as opposed to how strong their running defense is. The targets are there, like 8 targets last week. So I like Mike Davis to bounce back, and this is a crazy week for him.
I'm a little worried of Patterson still. Like, I don't think he's going to fully take over from Patterson. Like, he's been good, so there's no reason for them to move away from him fully. Yeah. But yeah, I think if Mike Davis is going to have a better week, it is going to be this week. So I don't mind him as a RB2, I guess, bottom end RB2 there.
Yeah. Myles Gaskin at 20. The Raiders have been decent against the run. Like, Harris had a big week, but it was mostly, a lot of it was from the passing game. I think did he have 60 yards receiving, something like that, Harris? 40 maybe?
Najee?
Yeah.
I know his touchdown was receiving.
Yeah, so they've been, the Raiders have been okay against the run, but the Dolphins could lean on the run game here with Jacoby Brissett probably being at quarterback. It's going to be a pain tolerance thing for Tua, and I don't think Brian Flores is going to want to put his young quarterback out there.
You don't think he's going to play?
Yeah, I don't think he plays. I think it's a rib injury, right? Yeah. Avoided anything too crucial, but again, it's pain tolerance, and Tua's like with the hip, history. I don't know if he's willing to play him this week. Maybe he gives him a week off, and we see Brissett playing this week. And if they do, even if either one of them are playing, I think they might lean on the run game a bit this week against the Raiders. Ezekiel Elliott.
Way down.
I mean, we have to start taking the Eagles' front four and their defense for real against the run. Like, Elijah Mitchell did nothing last week.
They stopped that San Francisco defense offense completely. Yeah,
they were great. So I'm going to respect them. I'm going to take them for real. Zeke's just hasn't really shown the burst that we've talked about in the offseason. I think Tony Pollard will siphon some touches, which he did last week. He's done the last 2 weeks. It's just going to happen.
It's going to keep getting closer and closer, it feels like, because Pollard has just looked better than Zeke, which is unfortunate for people who drafted Zeke in the first round, but if you don't have Pollard and you're Zeke owner, then it's looking a little worrisome so far.
Yeah. Miles Sanders, I have at 22. Look, I don't know. This is where Miles Sanders is going to live for me.
Right around that running back 20 range?
Yeah. I don't even have much to say. The Cowboys defense.
Decent RB2 play.
Yeah. DeAndre Swift back at 23 for me after, a so-so week, or not what was his fantasy finish on Monday?
I think he ended up getting around 10.
10 points.
That last drive helped out, especially in PPR when he got like 3 receptions for around 30 yards.
Yeah, so the Ravens defense, tough matchup. Week to week, I'm just worried about how much Jamal Williams' involvement will be. He's going to be involved in the pass game. This team, if they're down in this game, maybe we see, that resurgence of week 1 where plenty involved, plenty of points for them both. But Swift has moved down mostly because of the matchup.
Yeah, I'm a big Swift guy, so I'm believing in him this week to bounce back, and he's definitely going to be in all my lineups. Like, don't bench him still.
Yeah, I think he's a safe play. It's crazy to say running back on a bad team's a safe play, but he kind of feels like he is.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon.
Bad week.
The Steelers' defense looks like it might be one of the best in the NFL. I'm not going to lie, especially against the run. So this is a tough matchup for a guy who isn't efficient whatsoever. Yeah. So I can only imagine.
Watch like 19 carries, 50 yards.
Dude, I can't wait to see 1.8 on that YPC when I'm looking at the score app and I look at
under
Joe
2
Mixon
yards per
and it's
carry.
less than 2 yards per carry.
I could see it. Neither of us like Joe Mixon as a talent.
Okay, let's get into some guys that are off the list. Anyone?
Damian Harris just missed. He's got the Saints, and I think both of us see him as just like a safe floor play and like put in your flex spot, maybe RB2 if you're desperate, but he's never going to provide that ceiling. So I kind of like him being off the list. Elijah Mitchell, the Green Bay run defense, has they been good so far? I feel like they've been kind of decent.
Yeah, it's been all right. I thought they were horrible against the pass. Kevin King getting lost against Quintez Cephas is not a good look. They just weren't. I didn't think they were great against the pass. So I think that Jimmy Garoppolo maybe has a big game here. Maybe we see Brandon Ayuk come back. We'll talk about Brandon Ayuk and start sit. I don't think it'll be anything worth really hearing, but we will talk about it because I do think Jimmy might have a big game.
But yeah, the San Francisco run offense is like, it's going to be weird. It's like there's like 6 guys they have now if you count all the injured guys.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's going to happen there? Nyheim Hines, I'm surprised you have him below some guys like Singletary and Jacobs, Connor, because I think he's going to have a pretty good week against Tennessee. I think they're going to use him in the passing game. He's going to be a solid dump off for Jacob Eason.
Yeah. I think I might reevaluate the Hines part. I kind of finished these 36 off recently, but I haven't really looked over them. I think Hines might move up a bit because I think both Taylor and Hines will be involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, James White is another person that's just kind of a safe play.
Safe flex play there.
He's in a couple leagues where I've kind of played like a hero RB strategy. White just feels like a safe guy for me to have in my RB2 spot if I'm really deep at wide receiver.
You might be wondering why we haven't talked about the Rams running backs. It's because they're playing the Bucks. So they're basically just dead this week. Even if Darrell Henderson plays, I'm probably benching him in every league I have him in.
Yeah, don't do it. Rib injury. I know they'll split time if they play, and then they won't be productive too.
It's the Bucks. You have to bench whoever it is unless it's like a top 10 running back.
I will say that I think Mark Ingram is a desperate flex play on Thursday night. I mean, volume.
If you really need it.
Yeah, volume's there.
But
and now Davis Mills is starting, so it could be like 3-headed, like let's get really dynamic with all of our running backs, keep them all fresh because we don't want to use Davis Mills too much, so maybe they all just eat into each other. But I did put Mark Ingram in my top 36.
I like it.
All right. Well, top 24 running backs. You can also check out our blog. We're ranking every single position group every single week in the NFL season. Link is down below as well. Be sure to check out our partners over at Manscaped. Lawnmower 4.0 for Manscaped is here. Look, you're going out this weekend, you're going out whenever. Just make sure you're cleaned up, taken care of. The Lawnmower 4.0 does a great job of that. Proud customer well before they become a sponsor with us. So be sure to check that out. Promo code BOX. You're going to get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. If you enjoyed the video, please do drop a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'd love if you subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate it if you dropped a like on the video as well. We will see you guys.
It's the biggest surprise you see in these rankings.
Yeah, what don't you like? I mean, Clyde, you got Clyde well up there in the top 12. I think that's a little bit crazy for some people, I think. But I think big week for the Chiefs, which kind of sucks against my Chargers, but that's okay, I guess. We'll see what happens. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.